Shalom, more praise Yahweh Shem Yahshua, double line, Apostle GMS. This is I'm Nava Allah coming next on the video. In this video, I'm gonna be focusing on the book of Sirach, also known as the book of Ecclesiasticus, in the Apocrypha, chapter 19, verse 26. Let's get right to it. There is a wicked man that hangeth down his head sadly. Now, when it says wicked man, it don't necessarily gotta be talking about an actual man. It can be talking about a woman, mankind, a person. Okay? There is a wicked man, because what? Women can be wicked too. So if it says wicked man, we know it's obviously talking about a man and a woman. Man, or it could be it's talking about a man and a woman. There is a wicked man that hangeth down his head sadly. Right, so a wicked person that got his head down sadly. The head down, they're looking all sad, looking all upset. But remember, this is a wicked man. They may be hanging down their head sadly, but guess what? It's some type of ulterior motive. You gotta watch people like that. A person that sit there, it's like a woman. She do something that's wicked, and then she's caught red-handed and start crying, or something like that. Or it could be talking about any person who does something wicked and they hang their head down sadly. Hang your head down is an act of submission, like an act of being that's what I'm looking for. It's like an act of being of submission. Okay, vulnerability or humility. But this person is wicked, so they're really just pretending. They playing that role. You gotta watch people like that. You gotta watch people like that. Don't let that get to you. Okay? Don't let that trick you. But inwardly, he is full of deceit. But inwardly, the person is full of deceit. They're pretending like they're sad, pretending like they're upset, but it's really just to deceive you. You know? It's like a person would say, "Oh, this person would steal your wallet and help you look for it." You know? They sitting there, or a person steals something and they're caught, but they sit there and act like they're not doing nothing. You know, they got their head down. Oh, I didn't do nothing. Knowing daggone well they lying. Casting down his countenance, his face. By casting it down, he was hanging his head down and making as if he heard not. So you're talking to this person and act like they don't hear you because they just got their head down, and you saying their name, yo, Joe, and they just sitting there with their head down, like they don't hear you, as if to make it appear as if like they're wallowing in despair, like they just so distraught and just so upset. Come on, man. It's like if a child does something wrong and they sitting there, they confronted by their parent or some adult, and they sitting there with their head down crying, and you calling their name and they won't look up at you. That's an example. It says, casting down his countenance and making as if he had heard not. Where he is not known, he will do a mischief before thou be aware. When he's not known, he will do a mischief before you even aware, man. Before you even notice something is going on, he gonna do some type of mischief because they really just sitting there playing that role, man. You accusing them of stealing something, you know they stole it, and they're sitting there with their head down, acting as if they didn't do it, but in reality, they really did do it. And then when you fall for that act of sadness that they're displaying, that catch you off guard, and then they wind up doing it again. Not supposed to trust these people out here, man. So it says, and if for want of power he be hindered from sinning, if want of power or lack of power, he be hindered from sinning. So because he doesn't have the power to do some form of wickedness at that particular moment, right? Yet when he findeth opportunity, he will do evil. When he gets the opportunity to do it, he gonna do it, man. He gonna do it when he gets that opportunity. And you gotta understand that. You gotta take that into account. You know, you on a job with somebody, it could be a cousin, family member, so-called friend, whoever. Somebody out there in the world, neighbor, they just putting on the front. They playing a role, okay? When they act like this, they just playing a role, okay? That's why it says he would do a mischief before thou be aware. So before you even notice, he'll do something. That's why I had to jump back up in that verse. So it says, and for want of power he be hindered from sinning, yet when he findeth opportunity, he would do evil. That's the point on that. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse let me see. I'll start from verse 8. A friend cannot let me see. I'll go right to the point, verse 12. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So just as iron is sure to rust, because eventually what happens, you got iron, and then the iron gets in contact with water, the air. Over time, the iron gonna begin to rust. When that air touches that iron, it's gonna rust at some point. It's just the nature of iron. So just as it's the nature of iron to rust, it's the nature of the enemy to show their wickedness, man. Though he humble himself and go crouching. But once again, that's like crouching. It's like laying. It's like putting your head down. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. So he may be acting humble, but you gotta take good heed. You gotta pay close attention. You gotta beware of him, man. It's like that little cousin or that child that's at the sleepover that's always doing something bad. That's jumping on the bed when the kid's supposed to go to sleep. You know, that's drinking soda past 8 o'clock when you told them not to, and then when they get caught, they start crying. Oh, well, you know, just give them another chance. Somebody say that because they'll fall for it, and then you wind up doing it again. Well, take that and apply that to an adult. Same nature. Doing something they don't got no business doing. You know their character. And they'll sit there and come humbly and crouching down like, oh, I'm sorry. When you get these scriptures in mind, you can see through that. You can see through that nature in people, man. You can see through that nature in people. You know what's in their heart. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. So it says, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass, like wipe a mirror. You'll be able to see clearly the true reflection of that man's character. And thou shalt know that his rust have not been wiped away or been wiped altogether. Have not been altogether wiped away. So when you look into that looking glass and you see that reflection of his character, how he truly is, you're gonna see, yeah, that rust has not been altogether wiped away. Meaning that rust or that wickedness is still in that person. He just putting on the front, acting humble. Okay? Alright, set him not by thee. Don't go near that person. Don't let him be a part of your group. Don't be associated with that person. Lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in that place. Because he'll overthrow you, and then he'll go and he'll stand up in your place and try to take your place. You know? It's like it's like two people that's on a basketball team. And one guy on the basketball team is throwing dirt on your name to the coach, hoping to get you cut from the team so that he can come up and be the head honcho. You know? You gotta watch that. I'm just using that as an example. Maybe if I get him out the way, I can get his position. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand. So don't be close with him. Don't be closely associated with people like this. Lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. You gonna remember at the end these words, and you're gonna be pricked therewith, meaning pricked in your heart, meaning in your mind. You're gonna be like, dang, man, I should have paid attention. I should have listened. Okay? Set him not by thee. Sorry. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? Nobody. You're not gonna pity a person that's sitting there charming a snake when they bit by that serpent. You charming a snake. Getting bit is a part of the comes with the territory. So you're not gonna pity no person that's associating themselves with individuals like that and then them getting bit. Or any such as come nigh wild beast. So anybody that come nigh wild beast. If you come next to a wild beast and you get bit, you're not gonna pity that person. Imagine a person having a dog chained up to a fence, and the dog is barking and growling and foaming at the mouth, and then somebody tries to take their hand and put it close to the dog to pet the dog. Guess what? That dog gonna bite your hand off. And if it don't bite your hand off, it's gonna bite you and it's gonna start shaking you up. It might rip both your fingers, man. Okay? Someone that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him and his sins, who will pity? So just as you won't pity a charmer that's bit by a snake, just as you won't pity a person that goes near wild beasts and get bit, guess what? You're not gonna pity a sinner. You're not gonna pity someone that goes to a sinner and become defiled with his sins. You're not gonna pity that person. You associate yourself with this individual. Now you getting tied in today with mess and today wickedness. For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. So he'll be with you for a while, but then when you got to when you fall, they ain't gonna be there. You know, they're not gonna be there. They're with you when you up, but they gone when you're down. All right. For a while, verse 16, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. So they'll speak nice words to you, but inwardly they're going to throw you into a pit. You got to always think about, why this person talking to me? Why this person asking me this question? You're going to start to notice that this person got ulterior motives. They want to know what's going on between you and this person so that they can go and gossip to that person over there. You got to keep people on a need-to-know basis. I mean, you're telling them things that they need to know. Not stuff that you just want to tell them. Not stuff for gossip purposes. Okay? But in his heart, he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. Deep down inside, he's thinking about doing you in. He's thinking about turning on you. So you got to watch these people. He will weep with his eyes. So with his eyes, he's going to look like he's sorrowful. And his eyes, he's going to look sincere. Like a person that's looking in their eyes, they weeping, they got their eyes teary, it's like they're telling the truth. But it says, but if he find opportunity, he would not be satisfied with blood. He ain't going to be satisfied with just doing one thing wrong. He going to satisfy. In other words, when it says he would not be satisfied with blood, meaning he going to go all out. He's not going to be satisfied with just blood. Meaning he going to be satisfied looking to overthrow you as in the greatest way possible for his benefit. And it's not just talking about a he, it's talking about a she as well. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. You know? Adversity come upon you, you're going to find your enemy there first. Looking to capitalize. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. Oh, it's like that. It's like the kid in school. Like, you ever seen these movies, where like these little high school movies, and you got the kid in class or in the school that's getting bullied and picked on, but then somebody goes to pretend like they want to be their friend, but deep down inside, they just looking to make fun of that person too. You thought they was your friend. Nah, they just let you a part of their crew so you could be the kind of person, you could be the one that they pick on. That's all. That's all. But if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He gonna find a way to undermine you, man. Because this is the enemy. Okay? Okay? He will shake his head like he's in agreement with you. Clap his hand like he's applauding you, praising you. And whisper much. You know, when a person is whispering to somebody, it's like they're telling them something intimate, something personal. So you're going to act like he's really there by your side, or she, and change his countenance. Act like, looking at this individual and thinking this person is trustworthy. They just putting on an act. You got to watch that. This is Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. So this person is speaking smooth things unto you, soft things unto you, but wars in their heart. His words is really drawing swords. And when it says wars in his heart, meaning his mind. When it says his word was softer than oil, yet they were drawing swords, meaning what? His words was lethal, brutal, dangerous, cutting, looking to do you hurt. So you gotta watch these people, man. They'll lie, they'll steal. You use deceit and all manners of manipulation to get what they want. You gotta understand that when you're dealing with people in this world. This is a part of, being spiritual. Speak them smooth words unto you, but deep down inside they got an ulterior motive. So with that, I'm gonna close and say, "Oh, praise Yahweh Shemir Shah." That belongs to the Apostle GMS. I hope you learned something. Shalom.